Hello, everyone. This is One Day at a Time podcast. It captures the challenges we face daily and what we learn or not learn from it. My name is Uche Agbai, or Sensei Uche. Welcome.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
Welcome once again to One Day at a Time with me, Uche Agbai, known in the media circles as Sensei Uche. Now, guys, I hope you've been finding nuggets from previous episodes that have been of use in your life. That will give me joy to know that you're finding nuggets and then you're finding words and you're finding encouragement from my podcast, One Day at a Time, that's chronicling my journey to beating cancer. Okay? Today's episode, which continues, of course, my journey in beating cancer, is titled A Cold Shower and Death. It was a day that two people whom I, hold dear to my heart saved me. Oh, these people saved me. How did they save me? Well, let's find out. Please welcome Bemileke Oscar Oyinsan. I don't even know what profile to read out. He is a media general, tycoon. He's a TV host. He is a producer. He's an all-round nice guy. How fun, Oscar? How you doing, man?
Yeah. Sensei Uche, how you doing? Great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. I think it's a personal miracle that you are not only alive, but you're taking this to the next level. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful that God used all the people He used to keep you alive for us. This is why I cry.
He's gonna cry. Actually, you know what? In my head, I'm like, just let Oscar just speak, because one episode is not enough. There's a lot. I think we should have the deluxe edition where you just give me from your perspective.
I've not spoken publicly about this. So, in recent time, this was how many years now?
2017. Yeah, 2017. So
that makes it 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Wow.
That makes it 5 years. But what, night.
So the topic.
That night, of course, the topic is a cold shower and death. But that night, why did you guys come through? I know we're always in touch. We're always keeping in touch. You always. But that night in particular.
So this is what I've come to realize, especially with my journey with you from that point, is that God uses who is available. If I wasn't there or Titi wasn't there, God would have used somebody else, I believe, because it was ordained that you will live long. It was ordained that you will not die.
Yep.
So I think the question should be along the line of me just being thankful that I was available, that my wife, that Titi, was available. And that day we had just finished an event and regular, check up, how you doing and all the whatnots. And I was like, let's just divert. We're taking 3rd Mainland Bridge. We're going home in Ikeja. I was like, we're in Yaba now. So let's just get off the bridge, see you, and then head out. And, we climb up and you're in the state that you're in. Temperature is like, I don't know. If I was going to guess,
I feel like I was burning. I feel like I was on fire.
Not that you were literally. So if I'm going to guess, I'm sure you were above 40, 41 degrees. And from the little I know from back in the days when I had a very heavy malaria, once you're at 41 up, your brain starts cooking and it causes irreversible brain damage if it's not, attended to. So I've always known that from way back, that your brain literally starts cooking.
Yeah.
So I was scared, and I know Titi was very afraid. So the immediate reaction was to get your temperature down. I think even Titi has a better knowledge of the happenings of that day. She was even reminding me recently, and I was like, really, that happened? Somehow mentally I blocked out a lot of the issues that happened. Mentally, I just locked it out. So talking about it now made me realize when we look back 5 years, we see how everything that happened for a reason. from when you were ill, from you saying, it was malaria, the hospital visits, you opening up to us saying that you had cancer, like cancer care. Like,
how did you even find out? Were we still together at City FM then?
No, I had left. So remember, I was in the car and I didn't hear you on air. I was like, Uche, what's up now? And I buzzed you. Then you told me you were at the hospital and all whatnot. And then that's when you opened up. And then from there, that became the subsequent visits that we started having.
Yeah.
But I think it took a while for you to even open up, if I recall. You didn't want to let anyone in.
Yeah.
And I remember me and you talking about how people who like to help people don't know how to ask for help. And I remember vividly, I was like, Mom has gone, Dad has gone, you are like an orphan. And the only family you had was the radio family, or the OAPs you get. So that was why I think I felt the responsibility at that moment that, look, whatever happens before, I don't know. Whatever happens after, I don't know. But now that I'm here, let's see what we can do. And Titi was just absolutely fantastic in her support, not just as a friend to you, but also as a wife to me, because she gave me the freedom to do what I needed to do. And, our journey to Turkey was like a month, at least for my chapter, my end was about a month. So that takes a lot from a woman, you literally drop everything.
Definitely.
And you move with this guy. And it was when I got back to Nigeria that I was like, what if you had died over there? I didn't think about the consequences of just dropping everything so it was when I got back, I was like, dude, you just got up and you traveled. There are a lot of what ifs, but we will never know by God's grace. So there's no point going down that road.
Let me give you, from this episode, what I remember about that day. Burning temperature. Of course, I felt like I was literally on fire in my apartment. After that shower, I think I was, how when you put water on something that is hot and
then the water becomes hot. Yeah.
So that was,
and the water is actually hot. I remember.
That was what happened to me. And then we had to go to the hospital. We had to
For some reason, I don't remember this shower hour episode. I do. It was when I was talking to Titi, and I remember that's true. You were shriveled, like you were shivering. You were like, the way you are curled up in a womb when you're about to be born.
Yeah.
You were like that. And the only thing on my mind was like, get him to a hospital. Yeah. I think that was...
When we got to the hospital that day, and I had to spend the night at the hospital, in my ward, just like 2 beds away from mine, a little girl with her dad had their mom in the same ward, the emergency ward, because that's what we came into. And she passed away. The girl's mom passed away that night. The reason I remember this is because I remember being so scared.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. I remember you told me that either 2 people passed on or something like that.
I remember being so scared, and I actually felt like I was going to die. When you feel death, the presence of death. I don't know if I'm sounding crazy here, but that was what I felt at the hospital.
Yeah.
That day. I actually felt death, the presence of death.
Yeah, it's a very eerie feeling. I remember coming to the hospital, and I don't visit hospitals much anyway.
Yeah.
And the stigma so it's just a feeling, it's a mood, it's a spirit, I don't know how to explain it. Those who know. But it's chills. It just literally sends chills up your spine. I was like, you don't belong here, man. I was like...
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I was like, you don't belong here. No disrespect to those that are here, but I just didn't see how, like, you've been through enough. Like, I think that was when you just buried...
My mom.
Your mom?
Yeah.
That was recent. So I was just like, what's going on? And then it didn't add up to me. I was like, you're one of the fittest guys I know. You're on, football every Saturday, the life of the party, and all that. So it didn't add up. And when you mentioned the story of the people who were passing on, never once did it cross my mind until I got back from Istanbul that you could move on to the afterlife at any point. It never occurred to me. I couldn't comprehend the fact that you would just go. I just knew we would beat it, but I just didn't know how.
And then the hashtag, since Uche beats cancer.
I remember.
What? What are you going to say?
I remember the brainstorming session I don't remember how, I think it was in the WhatsApp group. We threw a couple of options down, the OAP group with all the presenters and friends. And I don't know if it was me or Kenny Smalls. I can't remember who actually came up with that hashtag. And do you remember?
I don't remember. This guy. I'm the one with the worst memory right now of everything that happened. But Titi was talking to me, during this podcast. She is my producer, by the way, Titi Oyinsan. She was telling me that one of the things that she wanted as regards to hashtag was the positivity. She wanted it to radiate positivity, not signal doom and gloom, but signal positive. Positive. That's how the hashtag came about. Sensei Uche beats cancer. Which looking back,
I remember.
Which looking back at it right now is genius.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember because we didn't want the cliched help Uche. We didn't want help. We didn't want all those beggy. And that was the era where crowdfunding was at its peak, if I can use that word.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was actually Titi. So I remember going through various options of hashtags and wanting us to use a prophetic hashtag in terms of, and that's why, for example, we never thought of a situation where you were dying or dead. It never occurred to us. It was always, you're going to come out of this. We don't know how, but you're going to come out of it. So I think that's what facilitated that. And then we wanted your name inside the hashtag. I remember that now. Yeah.
Have you been through anything like this after that?
No, Uche. I mean, my experience with you changed my look on life. This was the first time where I came face to face with someone who, I mean, you became literally a vegetable. I remember you couldn't talk. I remember
I couldn't breathe through my nose.
You couldn't breathe.
The mouth was coming.
Yeah. And then I remember those sounds. I remember the sounds you would make when you're trying to breathe.
This guy, I'm sorry. As in, I feel like I've traumatized you.
Well, it's put perspective for me. For example, I was like, what's the point in staying fit, self? Like, look at this guy that I know. I was like, what's the point in? I was like, what's the point in fit farm? What's the point in? It was around that period that another close friend of mine's husband, Lohire, Edeki was her name. We're in secondary school. Her husband he collapsed on Ikoyi Bridge just jogging. He was one of the fittest guys I know. So I was like, what's the point of staying healthy? It was after, in fact, in recent times, I now realize that if Uche was as fit as he was and he beat cancer, imagine if he was unfit, that you would have died since. Like you will have, your resistance and the way your body has been built up is what got you through that period. If you were not a healthy person, if you're not a fit person, it could have caught you sooner. So that was why I now re-engineered my mindset that get into the gym and be fit. Let whatever takes care of itself. So I think your fitness was part of why you endured that long, looking back now.
Yeah, I even had to continue that. Well, one of the ways I stayed sane when I was in Istanbul alone was working out and just being in the gym. And, I tried to give my body a fighting chance and, of course, leave the rest to God. I know you said it, but in what ways have you been affected? I know you've mentioned a few, you've tried to talk about it, but in what ways have you been affected?
So there's a very thin line between letting things be, when you have no control over things, and also losing your drive. So what do I mean is, at the point I just started embracing the little victories. You breathe, you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
If you're pushing for a job or a contract, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Focus on the positives. And if you don't balance it very well, you might end up just waking up and just not caring about anything in the world. So that was a struggle for me in terms of just enjoying the moment, living in now, not getting too carried away with goals and missions and account balance and climbing the social ladder or whatever. I know it matters. But also not forgetting that you're here and now, you're alive. Because I remember then we're spending in Istanbul, in Turkey, we're spending, because I had the account, I still have it somewhere. We're spending the equivalent of ₦1 million every week for
chemotherapy.
Yeah, ₦1 million every week. And you couldn't breathe. So I was like, if oxygen was for sale and people had to buy oxygen, a lot of people will be broke. I mean, the closest we can relate to now is maybe petrol or diesel that people are buying. But if you could buy oxygen, which you get up in the morning and you have it for free, you lift your leg, you can lift it. You lift your arm, you can lift it. Some other things become less important to you, like what you have or don't have, the clothes you have or don't have, the position you have or don't have. So that was what I took out from the experience. And I just looked at my family in a whole new light. I looked at my wife, my kids. I wanted to spend more time. I wanted to make every day count. As cliched as it sounds, you of all people know and understand how at any point in time within the months you're in Istanbul, you could have given up the ghost.
Yeah.
So that was what I took out from, and it still affects me till tomorrow. Anywhere I get a chance to share the story, I tell them when people are in the dump, and I just smile like, you haven't experienced death knocking at your doorstep. That's why you are taking things for granted, blah, blah, blah. Then I talk about you.
Yeah, I'm going to take it away from this episode a bit. And I just remembered a moment that we shared in Istanbul. And that was when I could smell again.
Oh, yes.
I lost my sense of smell. I just remember that I actually lost my sense.
Yeah.
I couldn't smell anything.
So what led to the smell was, so I like to cook. For those listening, I like to cook. So I was forming chef and all that stuff. And after a while, I did the spaghettis, I did the meatballs, I did all the whatever, chicken grilled, whatever. But at a point in time, his taste buds not only were gone, but he needed something to bring it up. So that was when I started researching about Nigerian food. And the closest place we could get Nigerian food was about an hour and a half ride by train. They described the place and we've got the address.
Oscar, this is another episode.
So the point was, when I brought the food, I remember calculating, it was 5 liters of okra, egusi, ogbono, I think. Those are the 3 soups, and then gari. I bought gari.
Imagine what the person the outside they miss.
I remember converting the amounts. And the amount was like, in Nigeria, I would have bought it for maybe 5K. But by the time I did the conversion, it was like 40-something thousand naira or something crazy like that. And I remember the look on your face when you took eba, and I think it was ogbono, and you slurped it. And you go, that was how you took it in. And you were, like, I think you received half of your healing from that one meal. And you were so happy for that. And I think that's what led to, a week or so after is what led to getting your sense of smell back. Yeah.
It was after the first session of chemotherapy. But let me ask Titi something. Titi, how you doing?
I'm good. How's it going, Sensei?
It's going well. It is going really well. Okay, so Titi.
Hello, ma. Well, yeah.
He's right here.
He said he's right here. Titi,
that's an inside joke.
Of course. I know that one. But Titi, how did you find out that I was? Can you just play it back for me, for everyone listening? How did you find out that I was sick, and what was going through your mind when you found out?
So the first time I realized you were sick, I was kind of in denial about it, but I saw your nose. Your nose, you had some kind of swelling inside, like very similar to like a boil.
Yeah.
And I remember you having a sore throat and your voice was stressed. And I think I can remember having a conversation with you about how to not stress yourself after a night out, because you were doing the hype man thing really, really strong then.
Yeah.
So I was like, this hype man thing is really stressing you out. Or more, you have to take care of yourself. And then I just remember your nose having some kind of swelling inside. That's all I can remember. It wasn't so prominent, but I noticed it. It didn't look alarming or anything. I just thought it was something small.
Okay, so give me your version of the night that we shared, the cold shower that night. Give me your version of it from when you decided you and Oscar were going to come to my apartment to see me, when you got into the apartment, the state you saw me in. Just let's hear it from you.
So basically, I can remember going for an event.
Yes, Oscar said that too. Yes.
Yes, and after the event, I remember we were in the car heading home, and it was still quite early, but it was getting dark. And I just remember that we kept saying we were going to come and visit you, and we're going back and forth about it. And I was like, we're on Third Mainland now. Yeah, enter Yaba. Yaba is right here. So that exit on Third Mainland, we had the split-second decision as to whether to take a right and go straight to Herbert Macaulay Way or keep going straight ahead on Third Mainland Bridge. And then at the last second, I was like, let's go and see Uche. I don't know what drove me to, say it. I still feel it's quite divine.
Most definitely.
Like, let's just go. And then we finally got there, and as soon as we got to the door, the first thing I remember smelling was medication. I don't know whether it was like antibiotics or something that you had taken. And then I saw a row of plates of food, some half eaten, some brand new, some that looked like they had been there since yesterday. And then I saw rows of water. And the rows of water were put in a line beside your bed in such a way that you would know the person that put it there wanted you to be able to access them quickly. And it just dawned on me that it was because you couldn't really get up to go and do anything, at the time. And then my first question in my mind was, who is looking after you? I think I probably said it. Who is looking after you? Did. I said, who's looking after you? And then you said, your guys downstairs help you out.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, go on. Sorry. I'll cut in after.
Your guys downstairs help you out. They help you go get food. They come and check on you regularly.
It was James Bond. What's his name? Bond. What's this guy?
Dari.
Dari, yes. Yeah, it was Dari. I remember now. Yeah, go on, T.
Okay, so now, at that point, I was on the fence about whether to leave you alone. I was on the fence about that. Because, first of all, the kids were at home with the nanny, and I didn't really know how serious it was. So as we were talking, you were fine, and then suddenly you started to slur a little. Your voice started to drag a bit. And then I don't want to say I did mistake. I touched your hand, and you were burning up. And I was like, we're not going anywhere. We're right here. We're not going anywhere today. You need to get to it. We're not going anywhere. No, I just looked at Oscar. Oscar looked at me. And I think at that point, we both knew. I was like, we need to get this fever down. I think I said that too, right?
Yeah.
We need to get this fever down.
You did.
I said that.
I'm actually remembering now. So,
like, her memory is so detailed.
As in, I can't remember. No. But it's all coming back, actually.
It's burned into my memory. We need to get this fever down. And then I think I was like, okay, should I go outside while he, has a shower or something like that? And then Oscar took over from there. So I was still in the room, and then I think you guys went to the bathroom, and I think that's where Oscar can continue this story from.
So what happened is, the first call I made to Uche was about why is he not on air. He mentioned hospital or something. Then I said, we need to come and see you, or I need to come and see you. Then I think a day or two later, you said you're back home or something like that. And then that's what led to this visit, because it's all coming back. And then, what's his name?
Dari.
What am I calling him? Dari. Why is it James Bond? I think that was
Instagram. Bond. Yeah, Bond is.
Bond. He's called Bond. So he had been, I think, he was living downstairs or something like that.
Yeah,
insane. Or coming or whatever. So he had been coming and going. And then I remember the plate. As you mentioned the plates, I now remember seeing plates everywhere. Nothing had been washed. It was so there was a clearing up. I think the Titi did some clearing up, if I recall.
Yeah.
We got some water or something like that. Then me and you went into the bathroom, did the whole shower thing, got you back out. And what happened after, Titi? Did we
after the shower? I think I almost passed out because
you leave.
Yeah,
the shock of the shower.
So the shower was needed. Your fever was way too high. Once you had the shower, you yourself weren't really that coherent. You weren't really able to talk. You didn't have any energy. And I'm like, I can't justify leaving you like this. And I think that was where the conversation about taking you to the hospital began that night.
But what did we do that night? I can't remember.
We went to the hospital.
Yeah,
I remember you guys driving to the hospital. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, driving to the hospital.
I think we drove. Oscar drove your car.
We called my doctor, and then he made preparations at the emergency ward, and then we got there.
That was your Jeep. What was that? Your Jeep Infinity? Nissan. Sorry,
Nissan Murano.
Your Nissan Murano. I think Titi drove behind with the driver. Then I drove yours.
Yeah.
I think I brought the car back with your. Don't you have a driver or something? I think I brought the car back.
There was someone driving us. There was someone driving us that night.
See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let me find out how Titi has been affected. Oscar has told us how he has been affected by everything. Titi, how about you?
I'm definitely a lot more health conscious. I'm conscious about my body. I'm very, very observant of everything that's happening with me physically. Then also, I have this mindset that there is hope because you came back from this. Even though it looked like you weren't, you actually did come back. And I think many people go all the way downhill because of the lack of emotional support, physical support, financial support. So there's a lot of support that's needed for people in certain situations to get through it. And in the end, thankfully, you were able to get a certain level of support, even though I feel like the support could have been more. I feel like it could have been more from a lot more people. I still ask myself where they were.
This guy, I beg.
That's another conversation.
Okay.
For another day. There were some people I expected to step up that didn't. But in the end, God's plan came to pass. I'm just a lot more hopeful that people can come back. They can come back from this.
How about for both of you? What is
both of us?
Yeah. As a couple.
So honestly speaking, I don't know if you guys have already talked about the fact that Oscar followed you to Turkey. Have you talked about that?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We mentioned it.
Okay.
A little, but of course we want to hear.
And you letting me go for a month.
For a month, yeah.
So I have this confidence in Oscar that he can talk his way out of anything.
Oh, yeah?
And yes, he can talk his way out of anything, and he can also.
Please, can you talk Nigeria out of recession? Because
he can.
Can you talk the naira into becoming $1 to $1?
And then also, Oscar is the one that introduced me to Excel sheets, and he's very meticulous. And he's very detailed in everything.
That's one thing Dr. Dai also said that. Dr. Dai was like, from the way Oscar approached everything, that he was just confident that, okay, this person is not a medical practitioner, but he understands the urgency, understands the need for speed, understands how to, detail everything else. Oskido! Nice one, Baba.
Thanks to it.
Applause.
But then again, I felt like for us to have seen you in that particular position you were when we got to your flat, that anybody that was going to manage that situation needed to be a trusted person. And if they were not there when the chips were down, when the money now came in, how are we going to trust them to be there when the money comes in? You know, I don't know. I really felt like that. I felt I can't trust anybody with such an important, delicate, job, because the person is going to be doing things out of the ordinary.
I even wanted to ask, and I don't think we've actually talked about this, Titi, is that what were you going through when I was away?
Oh, yes.
Like, what were you going? I don't think we've actually talked about this.
How long was you away for again?
It was about a month plus.
Yeah, 4 weeks. 4 weeks plus.
Like 5 weeks of give or take.
So the funny thing, I actually felt very calm. Why? Because I felt like I would have been more anxious about Uche being there alone, or being in a place where I couldn't follow up and get updates on his health status. So it was actually a particular period where I realized I actually cared about Uche. I actually cared about you, dude.
Aww.
I didn't realize it. I didn't know. I don't know. See, I like to reach like this until that.
Thank you so much. As in,
because I just realized that I knew I was going to be worried about you if you were away, and it was like very selfish of me. Actually, I wanted updates. I wanted
updates.
My person is there. Don't worry. He's good. I would have done it myself. I would have gone myself if I could. If I could have left the kids, I would have gone myself. If Oscar couldn't have gone, I would have gone myself. That was how deep I felt about it. So there was never a question of what I'm going through. I'm like, don't worry, Oscar is there for a reason. He's there for a reason. He's there for a reason,
And just to buttress that, one of the qualities, and this is dovetailing into marriage and getting a partner.
Yeah.
One of the qualities I loved about Titi, even when we were dating, was I wanted a woman that could stand on her own if I wasn't in the picture.
Oh, fantastic.
And she's a hustler. She's been a hustler since 16, Titi Fanta. She's been So I could face other things without necessarily she couldn't put on the gen. That's probably the only issue. That's probably like the worst thing.
Let me break it to you. It's not that I couldn't, I just didn't want to.
Because sometimes I'll be at home and I'll be like, why can't you put on the gen? And then maybe the battery is gone and then we have to pull, do the manual one.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to, but now that I know, we'll talk about this in the next family meeting. But the reason I could focus on Uche, because I became cook, I became driver, I became spokesman, I became I was everything. And it was one of those moments in life that, like you rightly said, Uche, it changes you for the better. It makes you appreciate things. But I'm just glad. I'm just at the point at where you're like, there was no one knows about it. I just knew something in my mind just clicked. I'm like, dude, you have to see this thing through. Not even his biological brothers or sisters could. I already plotting graphs. I already knew that, okay, financing, liaising with, the radio station, the bosses, friends, colleagues. They just needed somebody who could be that. And I knew, look, this is what it is, man. You got to take this, whatever happens.
Okay.
And I'm just happy that I was there at that time. I'm happy we were all there.
I am happy that you and Titi were there. More than happy and, grateful that you guys were there. And let me just say this as we round off. Oscar, this is for you. When we were in Istanbul, I was trying not to scar you too much. Because I knew that what I was going through was weighing on you too. And even though you were doing all you can not to show it, my brother, I see him, and I want to say thank you and sorry. Seriously.
The sorry part, that sorry is the first time you ever.
Yeah, no.
Why you apologize? Nah.
Sorry. Okay.
I think what we went through is testament to the adage that God will never give us more than we can handle.
Yeah.
And we could handle that. I drew strength from you as well, bro. I won't lie, because it takes an extraordinary type of person and belief and strength mentally especially. And I think that's what got you through. Forget money, forget friends, at a point in time in life, there's some battles you just have to fight on your own.
Yeah.
And that was where my respect went from, 100 to 200 for you, because you fought, bro. You really fought. Like you fought for your life, literally.
I want to say thank you to Titi. I want to say thank you to Oscar. Guys, thank you for coming on this episode. There's so much. And like I said to Oscar earlier, we go do the extended version of this podcast.
Deluxe series.
Deluxe edition. It has to be done, where everybody just talk randomly about everything concerning the journey. To everybody listening, you have a support group. You have people around you. Also, try to be that person that can give support and can give help and can be relied on when friends, family, and loved ones need it. And you can also reach out to Titi and Oscar on social media. Oscar is Oscar in the City. Titi is I am Titi Dynamite, right?
Titi the Dynamite.
Titi the Dynamite, yes.
Let's put effect after.
Don't forget to look out for the next episode on the podcast, One Day at a Time, with me, Uche Agbai. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Titi and Oscar, again, thank you for coming on this episode. Until next time, keep living one day at a time. Bye, guys.